Hey everyone, good evening. It's Tracey, and I was laying in bed and had a nice dinner. Jesse and Bailey and I went out to dinner for their anniversary. It was their 1 year anniversary, and for my birthday to celebrate, and that was great. We had a nice time, and I was just laying in bed and I was looking at some of the comments. Trying to see what time it is. So it's 9 o'clock right now, 8:56. And I read a comment that said, I've been in cybersecurity for 15 years and I hope nobody believes this story because I never heard of anything like this. And I'm like, and even when we were at dinner, Bailey watches my videos. And they were like, did you read the comments that they don't believe you, that they think that you're doing this for clout or something? And they've been through this with me since the beginning. And I said, why would I ever lie about anything, about something like this? Where would that even come up in any realm of my being? And they were like, yeah, I know. And they were like, just ignore them. But this is like calling me a liar. And if anything, I am not a liar. And somebody also said, well, show the proof or whatever. And I told you a lot of it I had sent to my Hotmail, like I was taking screenshots of stuff while it was happening. And then they got that. This was before I knew that they got my emails. And so you can see this says breach Tracey. And so I'd started a file with all the stuff that I was doing. And so, somebody said, well, show the proof. And he said, cover up the information. And so that's what we're going to do. And if you were from my old channel, and you know my mom, you know I take care of my mom, I swear to you on my mother's life, my almost 96-year-old mother's life, that everything that I have said in all these videos has been the truth. It has been everything that I have gone through and experienced. And so I was using these to cover up. I was writing stuff on the folder. And so, and I wanted to show you. And first of all, I've only ever had one phone. Why would I have two phones? And I told you, you're on a burner phone that I bought at Walmart that has no identifying characteristics from me. And this is my 16E Apple that I had bought. I still have it on, but it's the new phone number on this phone, but I don't have anything on it. Do you know what I mean? I don't use it for anything. I keep it because some people still have this number and I give them my burner phone number if they're using this. And so I had looked up, can your home Wi-Fi be hacked? Because I don't know how all this works. And if you're cybersecurity, then, tell me, give some information or something. And I wrote in, can someone hack into my home Wi-Fi? And this is the overview. And it says yes, and I'm going to read it to you. Yes, someone could potentially hack into your home internet, especially if your network is not properly secured. While it's unlikely that you would be specifically targeted, automated bots constantly scan the internet for network vulnerabilities. If a hacker gains access, they can compromise not only your Wi-Fi, but also your devices connected to it, which can have severe consequences. Common ways hackers gain access. Weak passwords. Many people don't change the default username and password for their router's administrative settings. Hackers know these standard credentials, which I never knew, and that's what I told you. I didn't know. Did anybody ever tell you to change the password when you get a new router? I've never been told. and can use them to take full control of your router. A weak Wi-Fi password is also easy for a hacker to guess or crack using brute force tools. Outdated firmware. Like any software, your router's firmware, its operating system, can contain vulnerabilities. Manufacturers regularly release updates to patch these flaws. If you don't update your router's firmware, a hacker can exploit these known weaknesses. I don't even know how to update my router's firmware. I didn't even know they had updates. You think that would be, I don't know, like the place you buy it from. Default network name, SSID. Using the default service set identifier for your network is an invitation for hackers. The name can reveal the manufacturer, helping attackers look up known vulnerabilities for that specific router model. Disabled security features. Some routers have convenient features that can also be security risks, such as Wi-Fi protected setup, WPS, remote management, and universal plug and play, UPnP. Disabling these functions can make your network more secure. Risks of hacked network. If your home network is compromised, a hacker could steal your personal data, access your passwords, financial information, and other sensitive personal data sent over your network. Plant malware. Infect your devices with viruses, spyware, or ransomware that can lock your files until ransom is paid. Hijack your accounts. Steal your credentials to take over your online bank, email, and social media accounts. All those things happen to me. Redirect your traffic. Use domain name system, DNS, hijacking to send you to fake malicious websites to steal information. Turn your devices into a botnet. Use your devices to launch cyber attacks such as distributed denial of service, DDoS attacks without your knowledge. Commit crimes in your name. Use your internet connection to conduct illegal activities that could be traced back to you. How to prevent your home network from being hacked. You can significantly reduce the risk of a cyber attack by taking these steps. Change your default passwords. Change both your Wi-Fi network password and your router's administrative password immediately. Use a strong, unique passphrase with a mix of letters, numbers, and symbols. Update your router's firmware. Log into your router settings to check for and install the latest updates. Enable automatic updates if your router supports them. Use strong encryption. Ensure your router is set to WPA3 or WPA2 encryption. Avoid older, weaker protocols like WPA and WEP. Again, I'm not techie. I don't even know what WPA3 or WPA2 or WPA, WEP, what they mean. I don't know that. Use a unique network name. Change your network's default SSID name to something unique that does not reveal the brand or personal details. Disable unnecessary features. Turn off features like WPS, remote management, and UPnP in your router's settings. Create a guest network. If your router has this feature, use it to create a separate network for guests. This prevents visitors' potentially compromised devices from accessing your main network. Use a VPN. For extra security, a virtual private network, VPN, encrypts your data, making it unreadable even if a hacker gains access. Be vigilant. Monitor your network for signs of a hack like slow speeds or unfamiliar devices, and install antivirus software on all your connected devices. So I believe that is what I have been saying. And so now, sorry, I need to look this up. And I'm going to show you okay, we're going to go back to the beginning here, class. I feel like a teacher. Some of the stuff. Okay. So when all this started, I went to my bank, and I'm going to show you what it says. So I got a MICR number reassignment. So they just said they gave me a new account number at my bank. So I don't know what MICR stands for, but there's my name. I took out my last name, reassignment, MICR number reassignment, reason for reassignment, account hacked. Okay. So that was when all this started, and I went to my bank. I got this when I was at the police station. And you see right here, www.ic3.gov. And so that's where you go to report Internet Crime Complaint Center. That's what it is. And this one is talking about elder fraud. And so then, sorry, some of these are out of sequence here. I'm not going to show you all that information, but I am going to show you. And this is my IC3 complaint. And it was done 9/1/2025. And all this started on 8/29. I went over to Jesse and Bailey's to do it on their computer because I didn't trust my computer. And there's my name. There's 50 to 59. I'm 59. Yeah, and I was calling Apple at the time. I'm writing down things because I'm calling so many people. So what is an IC3 complaint? Okay, what happens when you file an IC3? Okay, so what happens when you file an IC3 complaint? When you file a complaint with the IC3, your report is reviewed and researched, then forwarded to the appropriate law enforcement agencies for potential investigation. The IC3 itself does not conduct individual investigations, which I didn't know, but it may contact you if more information is needed. In some cases, specifically for fraud involving transfers to domestic accounts, the IC3's recovery asset team works with financial institutions to attempt to freeze funds. And here's one of the things too is, I forget who told me, but I stopped my funds. They moved money from my money market to my checking account, and I shut that down before they got it out. And so I remember one of them asking me, did you lose any funds? And I said, well, no. I mean, I have, as far as like work goes, as far as losing my YouTube channel and stuff like that. I have lost funds, but I guess they're future funds. But in the moment, I had stopped it before it got out of my bank account. And so in the moment, I didn't lose those funds. All right. What happens after you file? Review and research. The IC3 reviews and researches every complaint it receives. The information is disseminated to federal, state, local, and sometimes international law enforcement agencies that have jurisdiction over crime. No individual response. You would generally not hear back from the IC3 about the status of your complaint. It is designed to gather intelligence and may not respond to every report individually. The only exception is if they need additional information from you. Potential for fund recovery. For certain types of fraud involving domestic financial transfers, the recovery asset team may work to freeze funds. They act as a liaison between law enforcement and financial institutions. Okay, remember that. Information sharing. The IC3 may share complaint information with private sector partners when necessary for investigative purposes, though personal identifying information is typically not shared unless required. What to do in addition to filing a complaint: notify financial institutions. Immediately notify all financial institutions involved in the transactions, which I did. Contact your local law enforcement. Report the crime to your local police department, which I did. And contact your local FBI field office. Reach out, which I did. I even went down to the FBI office. And yeah. Let's see. I found, it was on that phone. I found, I'm just gonna, sorry, I don't have editing right now on my thing, so I can't edit this out. How many complaints? Boom. I saw a number. I see 3 complaints were received. We'll say this in 2024. Okay, in 2024, so I put how many IC3 complaints were received in 2024. And so you can see, sorry, I don't know if you can see, in 2024, and I'm going to read this to you. In 2024, the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center received 859,532 complaints. This number represents a significant increase in complaints compared to previous years and was accompanied by a record $16.6 billion in reported losses. Comparison to 2023, this was a 33% increase in losses from the previous year. 16.6 billion from scams like this, fraud, internet, cyber attacks like that. So that's that, okay? So there's my IC3 complaint. These are all, I'm looking for my police report. Oh, I wanted to take this off. Sorry, I was taking identifying markers off this. Okay. So you see it says police up here. This is my police report. Received 8/29/2025. And when I went into the, remember when I called when I got the Walmart bags and I called like at 2 a.m. I talked to the police officer. I didn't think he was going to make a report. He said he would take my name down. So when I went into the police station and reading the report, it said the police officer I talked to at the police station didn't know that the first officer had started a report. I didn't know that either. And so that's why it is the 8/29 date. Description, theft, and description, scan, fraud, scam, identity theft. That's what it says right there. Fraud, scam, identity theft. So that was my police report. Okay. And then here is, so at the bank, the only way I knew to freeze my credit reports was from the bank. He printed this off to me. This is Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. So it gave all the numbers. He gave that to me. This is just their address. I sent them a certified copy of a letter. I sent Equifax because TransUnion and Experian, I could do it on the phone. For some reason, Equifax, they didn't have my updated email address. Listen, I lived in a van for 3.5 years. I haven't taken out any credit or anything. And so I just want to show you, I hand wrote this, but that was to them. I had to write them a letter. And then they even wrote me back, and I just sent the letter out today because they said that they needed 2 forms of identity. They needed a driver's license or a social security card, and then something like a utility bill, which I just sent them today. But they sent me a letter saying they found out that the other 2 had gotten the account frozen. So they were putting a freeze on it, but they needed that information. So remember how I told you that they said that they had tried to open bank accounts? I told you US Bank was one of them. This is US Bank. And this one says, thank you for applying for the following products. They applied for US Bank Smartly Savings and a US Bank Smartly Checking. And at the same time that I got this letter, which is dated August 30th, I got this letter dated September 3rd. So they tried to open it right away. We regret that we are unable to establish an account for you at this time because we are unable to verify identification information on your application. If you have questions, please call below. So there was a US Bank close to me. I tried to call. I was on the phone for 45 minutes. And so I just decided to go in. I brought this information. I said, I have my identity stolen. He took a copy of it and said, okay. The other one I told you was called Magnify, and that's what it is. I had never heard of it before, but it is in Melrose, Minnesota. It says adverse action notice. And it said, at this time, we are unable to offer you. That's the box that's checked. And they did it through Equifax and check systems. And I don't know if you can see, it says your score is, my credit score is 807. At least one good thing I got going for me. Okay, then here's another, this is from Experian, and it says, as you requested, we placed a security freeze on your personal credit report from Experian, and then it goes into telling you about that. So that's that, okay. What is this? This is, oh, so this is from, and my name is on there, so I have to. Okay. I feel like I'm doing freaking, like an art project or something. I just want you to show that, like, my name is on here, Tracey. And this is dated September 2nd, 2025. And it says, we have added an initial fraud alert. So this is from Equifax on your Equifax credit line. This alert will remain on your Equifax credit for 1 year. Okay. And I told you, here's another one. As your Experian identity theft protection policies. So this was Experian. Put a hold on that. I told you when I had gotten my my new computer that I haven't even used yet, that I got the Ultimate. Home Security Ultimate. Windows, iOS, Airbnb. And then it says VPN. I told you it came with the VPN and identity protection included. So that is what is on my computer, my new computer. I had them install it because I didn't want to chance installing it anywhere. And I got the VPN. So I activated that, got that on my phone. And I hadn't gotten to this part yet in the story, but okay, I have got, so we're here. Okay, so I said I had opened a new bank account. Oh no, okay, so this is both. So I said that I had gotten notice in the mail that it said, thanks for enrolling in City and County Credit Union's digital banking solutions. And this is when I left off, where I said I was shaking. I called Charles at the bank, and I said, Charles, I got this in the mail. I haven't done it. So I just want to cover a couple things that I didn't. It's all over the place. Oh my gosh. I suppose it's marketing, so just don't want to show you. Okay. I can't believe that I have to go through all this to prove that I'm not lying, but I did it. Okay, so it says, hello, Tracey. Thanks for enrolling in the digital banking solutions. I may have said it, but it doesn't matter. And so that's when I called him. I ran to the bank with this piece of paper. I sat down with Charles. And listen, by this time, my account was locked, frozen, locked down. I have to go in and do banking in person, and I have to give them a passphrase because they have a thing pop up saying that you have to ask me for the passphrase for me to do any banking. So when I got there, Charles went into his computer and he said, no, nothing's been taken out. It's all still what it was before, but I didn't flag the part like where my information is, like your security questions and stuff. He said they went in and changed my security questions and all that information like they did before, where they had changed like the email to like out of this world galaxy or something like that. And they changed it to their information. This is the truth. This is the truth. This coincides with everything I have been telling you. Okay? So then I told you, again, I ended up where I said I opened a banking account at another bank. And I don't have this account anymore, so I'm going to tell you. So this is Huntington. So I had it for a couple of weeks. When I opened it, I had ordered checks because I knew that I would have to write checks. I mean, I did get my, what do you call it? The debit card with that. But I had talent that I was going to receive a check for. I told you I had just cast talent for a shoot, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to use the account that was locked down to write checks out of. And so I ordered checks from this new account. And you can see I wrote down the number to this because I never got them. And I received this letter on September 16th. And it says, important information about your change of address. I never changed my address. And this is what they've been doing continuously throughout the time. Please note that a change of address has recently been made on one or more of your Huntington accounts. You may have requested a change yourself, or we may have obtained it. We are committed to protecting your account security. If you did not authorize a change of address, or if the address is incorrect, please contact us as soon as possible. And I'm like, oh my God, not again. So I called the number. I talked to the very nice lady. Again, another very, very, very nice lady. And she said too, she goes, they couldn't, I go, I haven't gotten my checks either. And I said, I didn't change the address. And I told her about how I had my identity stolen and all this stuff. And she said, you didn't receive your checks because on the line, she called, she put me on hold and she called Heartland Checks while I was on the line. They said that they couldn't deliver them, even though they had no problem delivering, the mail, and that they returned them and destroyed them because the stuff was changed. And so I went in the next day and closed that account. And I don't even know how they got in there because I wasn't doing any online banking. All I can think of is I don't think I had my burner phone at the time, and I used my new number, which I told you the Wi-Fi I found out was hacked the day after I got the new phone and the new phone number. I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it. I don't know. But this is the honest to God truth. And then I found out from Kenny, I told you I stopped in and he's like, Tracey, the same thing just happened to somebody. And I thought of you, and they came in because they got a whole new social security number. I'm like, you can get a whole new social security number? And I looked it up. Let's do that because people had questions about that. Okay. I'm sweating because I'm all hyped up. Yes, you can get, okay. Can you get a new social security number? Yes, you can get a new social security number, but only limited situations like identity theft, harassment, or life endangerment. You cannot get for simply lost or stolen card if there's no evidence of ongoing misuse. To get a new number, you must apply in person at a local Social Security Administration office with appropriate documentation to support your claim. Okay, so I brought this whole file down with me. Tromps down. I told you I went to the Social Security office. I had to go to downtown Minneapolis again, nowhere to park. Got to park a mile away, pay. So I go, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get his new Social Security number, at least talk to him and figure out what I can do. And you pick a number. I waited for 45 minutes and parking was only 2 hours. Like that's what it covered. And so finally, my number comes up, and he calls me and this other lady. He goes, it's the security guard or security person. I don't know if he's a police officer, what he was. He's sitting at the front desk. And he's like, oh, you guys are here for Social Security numbers or Social Security, I don't know. And I said, yeah. I go, my identity was stolen. So after all that, he hands me this and says, call these people and you have to make an appointment with them. It's a whole different Social Security office, which is in Minneapolis. So then I called them, and the soonest they had an appointment is on October 23rd. So that is when I'm going to Minneapolis to do that. So that's my story. It's the truth. Here's the proof. I'm sticking to it. I don't know how, but I've told you all these things are possible. All these things have happened. I don't know how they do it, but it's happened to me. And that's why I'm sharing my story, because I don't want it to happen to you. I can't believe, like, I've spent the last 6 weeks trying to prove my identity, kind of being outcast by people because they're like, is it really you? Like if I friended somebody on Facebook, because my burner phone. So that was the next part of the story. And then it's pretty much to where we are now. So remember somebody, because they took my TikTok, but when I was on TikTok, I told the story of when this all was happening. And somebody wrote to me, they said, this happened to us. So I'm assuming he's a couple or whatever. We lost everything. Invest in a burner phone. And at the time I was like it hadn't gotten that far yet. I mean, it was getting far, but I wasn't like, I didn't think I need that. I got a new Apple phone and a new phone number. And so it was time. I go into Walmart and I'm like, I need a burner phone. And again, I tell my story. I've told this story multiple times. And she's like, do you want your name on it? And I'm like, no, I didn't even know that was an option. I didn't know that you couldn't not put your name on a phone. And the burner phone has been my saving grace, because it's allowed me to get my social media back, get a Facebook open again. And then, people are like, is this really you? Is it really you? I even sent emails to people, like I would have to Google them because I didn't have their emails anymore. And these are my friends, and they're like, Tracey, is it really you? I'm like, yes, it's me. And I'd have to give like right before this happened, you were going to come over and help hang my pictures. It is me. Like nobody else would know that. So it's been tiring and frustrating, and for people to accuse me of somehow making this all up and lying, and then a cybersecurity guy saying that, I hope people don't believe your story. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to do. And on top of that, some lady wrote and thinks some people responded to her. Is that the hairstyle you're going with? Or, don't you want another hairstyle? Or she said something like that. And here, like, I'm going through the hardest time of my life. Well, one of them, I've been through a lot of hard times, if you follow me. And she's worried about my hair. And somebody said, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say anything on. She goes, this is my profession. So she's a beautician or whatever, a stylist. And I feel sorry for people who are your clients, because is this how you, usually if you have clients, I know I'm a licensed esthetician and I tattoo eyebrows and stuff like that. Like I'm talking people up and trying to make them feel beautiful. I'm not dragging them down. And so, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, but I'm not going to be able to look at the comments for a while. And this is the tragedy, like of the internet, just like me getting my identity stolen and all this happening to me. Just think, since last year, 16.6 billion, almost 900,000 complaints. And to think that that I'd be lying about something like this. I'm tired of trying to prove to people, first of all, who I am, because I got my identity stolen. And second of all, that it's the truth. And again, I swear, I'll put my hand on my heart and swear on my mother's life and my daughter's life and Bailey's life. And I would never, that this is the honest to God truth. This is my story. This is exactly how it's happened. And I don't know how else to prove to you that it's true. And so I'm not, I mean, this did it, So I'm just going to continue on. And what I am going to be doing, hopefully I can tell other people's stories. And how sad, like I said, that you're victimized and then you're re-victimized, because it's like, assault. I was sexually harassed by 3 different law firms, or by 3 different partners at 3 different law firms. And they made me feel, who makes the money? They do. And they make you feel like you're the one who's done something wrong. And I've done nothing wrong. I've done nothing wrong. I was in a data breach. I didn't change my passwords, and I had the same one for multiple accounts because I thought it was too hard to remember all of them. That's what I did wrong. And I didn't know that you should change your home Wi-Fi and all that stuff. So, guilty as charged for that, I guess. But yeah, and I feel bad for the people who are so supportive of me and have been saying such kind things. And no, I would never lie about. Why would I give up? I was just at the pinnacle of where I thought life was gonna roll easy for a while, And I take care of my mom. Just had to bring her into the emergency room. I was in the emergency room like 5 months ago because they thought I was having a stroke because so much stress. So imagine. So, okay, that's it. I'll see you in the next one.